Hi, I'm Brittany Rizzo, and welcome back to My Only Friends. On today's episode, I sat down with Stephanie Garvin. Stephanie is taking the film industry by storm as the founder and CEO of Hollywood Expansion Corporation. Stephanie developed Hollywood Expansion Corporation when recognizing how difficult it is to bring a beautiful dream to life in the current entertainment world. Through HEC, she is breaking the barriers and building a new type of infrastructure, expanding the future of film by integrating cutting-edge technologies and innovative strategic financial strategies. With the company's team of creative experts, HEC incorporates the nuts and bolts of sound business practices into the glitz and glamour of the entertainment industry. This episode reminds me of the Friends episode, the one where Rachel goes back to work. Phoebe in this episode joins Joey on the set of Days of Our Lives as a background actor. Stephanie talks about how she learned a lot about how a set was run from doing extra work when she first came to LA. Also, this episode of Friends has some of my favorite bloopers, and Lisa Kudrow is so funny, and I highly recommend watching those. Stephanie's current project is the cutting-edge, highly anticipated race car film Maserati, which centers around the Maserati's family journey from its founding in 1914 to becoming a renowned Italian luxury car manufacturer, alongside rivals Ferrari and Lamborghini. The film includes an all-star cast including Al Pacino, Anthony Hopkins, and Jessica Alba. Theatrical release is coming soon. Please enjoy my conversation with Stephanie Garvin.
How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
What's going on?
Oh man, it's been a busy week. I've been moving. So,
Oh, good move.
very good move. Yes, I just got a house here in Arizona
Okay.
and I love it here. I lived here for many years when I was younger, and I'm working here on my Hollywood Expansion Corporation platform with some other people, and it just got really hard to get back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I got a house here, and now we're working together, and it's going well.
Nice. So you were in LA and then you moved to Arizona.
Yeah, yeah. I still have a place in LA that I stay when I'm there because I have to be there too.
Mm-hmm.
I really downscaled out of there.
Yeah. No, are you trying to expand opportunities in Arizona while you're there or keep more work based in Los Angeles?
I am. I want to create more jobs here. When I
Mm-hmm.
lived here many years ago, it was a real kind of a production hub, and it isn't that way now. And I've been working in alliance with a few other people to get the tax credits back in order here the way they used to be, so
Mm-hmm.
that we can attract production. And, right now there's so much production that actually leaves the country.
Yeah.
And, like the desert productions, they leave the country, literally. They and, here it's major desert we could be using for filming. So,
Right, right. Yeah, I'm from Las Vegas, so I know that a lot has like picked up there in terms of filming and like, bigger
absolutely.
shows. But
Yeah.
for me, I'm like, it would be amazing to just, work. I live in LA, so it's like, to work in LA would be the dream.
I know. You know what? The thing about LA, I mean, I love LA, but
Hmm.
it is very expensive for people to live there.
Right,
You know,
right,
cost of living just it blows the salaries.
right,
You can't, it makes filming so expensive because you have to pay a higher wage for everyone because the cost of living is so high there.
right. I know. I feel like, well, of course, I feel like Monica and Friends because everybody's like, how does she, how can they afford that big old apartment? And it's like, well, they say in the show that Monica's subletting it from her grandma, and like me, I'm not subletting it from my grandma, but I am under rent control, and so I'm
Lucky.
like, I'll die in this apartment. Even if I won the lottery tomorrow, I would stay in this apartment because, like, you're never gonna find this again in the valley. It's a dream.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard. I know, like cost of living for a lot of people. And even in Las Vegas, though, cost of living has gone up
Uh,
so much. And
yes.
it's just, it's pretty crazy to think about. I mean, gosh, we could go down that rabbit hole of like, people have to work an hour just to afford the sandwich on their lunch break anymore, you
Or the
know?
gas to get to work.
Yeah, it's nuts. So I understand why people make those decisions. And, if you want to create art, you can create art anywhere.
That's right. And that's one of the great things about our system is that we're encouraging people to not give up on their dreams just because
Hmm.
they can't move to LA or move to New York, or, we can work. But thanks to COVID, one of the good things that came out of it is Zoom,
Right, right,
you don't have
right.
to be in person everywhere anymore.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's been great for filming.
Now, talk about how you got into the producing world because you first were working in finance.
I was, yes.
So, what was the moment where you were like, I don't want to do this? Or did you go, wait, I can do this, but in a more creative way?
So I have always loved filmmaking and creating. I've been doing that since I was young, in many different ways, whether it was through cooking or writing or playing. I had a very creative mind, and my family. Um, I mean, I don't want to say they weren't supportive, but really they weren't. I'm just going to put it out there. They were
Say it.
no. My mom was like, "Oh, you can't be in that field. It's evil." And
Hmm.
she was very strict about that. And my dad was like, "You just need to get married and have kids. What are you thinking?"
Oh,
And so I had opposite spectrums on the
yeah,
parent world. And I kind of like spent a lot of time on my own and developed making decisions on my own and creating my own path because
yeah,
of just the way I was brought up. And it wasn't good or bad, but it was my journey. And so when I got into the work world, I did all the things that I thought I could accomplish by solving problems. So I would do a lot of entrepreneurial things. And then I loved that, but it wasn't consistent. So I did get into being a stockbroker, a financial advisor. I was licensed as a Series 7 broker, a 65, 63, was getting ready to get my options license. And I just realized, you know what? I'm not loving this. I love making money for people, and most of my business was through referrals because
hmm,
I have a knack for I just have a little gift of understanding things that may or may not happen. I forgot there's a term for it. I forgot what it was, but apparently I'm very highly attuned to like a
hmm,
problem outcome. So I
hmm.
was good at what I did.
Maybe it's just being a woman.
Could be, yes.
Yeah.
It didn't say that on the test scores I
Yeah,
took, but
exactly.
that probably has something to do with
Women
it.
are superior. That's what your
Yes,
test score was.
I totally agree. But I went into after that, I decided to get back into creative endeavors because it brought me more joy.
Hmm.
And for me, that's really, really important that, I'm happy. When I'm happy, my kids are happier, everyone around me is happier. When I'm miserable, like it travels.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I talk a lot about
Done.
that. It's really about we have to keep our own vibe and frequency high, or else it is that everything, the collective will just drown. And it's like, even though, and I'm the same way, I'm very sensitive to other people's energies,
Me too.
and my energy can be very, I can, take over a room very quickly, especially if I'm hungry. So it's like, so yeah, I totally get that feeling. And then you're like, well, I can literally choose to be happy. So
Yes.
why wouldn't I?
Right, right. And the money will follow if
Yeah.
you choose your divine plan, which
Hmm.
I always felt was being creative and being a problem solver. I've always felt guided in those directions and to
Right.
lift others. I have, I swear, some stuff that happens to me that's bad, like 2 years later, I'll meet someone that's going through the same thing, and I'm like, oh, let me tell you what I did.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, it's like, okay, I have the playbook for this. Let me pass it down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, going back to when you were a kid and like feeling creative and not feeling like your parents were supportive to like nurture that, when you were little, what would you do to kind of escape on your own?
Well, it wasn't hard for me to escape because I was actually by myself quite often. You know,
Mm,
I was the ultimate, what do they call it, the latchkey
yeah,
child. You know,
yeah.
basically from 5 or 6, I was doing so much for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And my escape really was more from um, me,
Mm,
and thinking about that. It wasn't really from my parents, but I had to do things that um, didn't allow me to feel lonely because I was alone.
yeah,
And
yeah. What were some of those things?
well, I played the piano every day, and I still
Mm-hmm.
today love music. I played for 2, 3 hours a day, and my go-to thing if I felt afraid, sad, or sometimes when you're a child who, being alone in your house at 7, 8 years old, it can be a little bit scary, right? And so I would just play the piano and I would feel so connected through
Right.
music. And it made me feel safe. And the tone of the music and learning the music was so challenging. I haven't really talked much about this, I just realized, but this was like a huge part of my life.
I love that.
But I would, my grandmother was a concert pianist, so she would send me music and I would open it up and learn new songs every day. And the art of learning and sight reading was very helpful for me not to focus on how I was feeling in the moment,
Right.
and then I would always write stories. Writing was a big deal. And I would do poetry sometimes, and
Mm-hmm.
I find those
Mm-hmm.
things now every once in a while, and I'm like, oh my gosh, where was my mind when I wrote this?
Yeah. Well, that's almost I love that though because like my apartment is just full of random journals with little things I've scribbled or little song pieces or poems that I've written down and then or like my notes app is just full of those and you go, "What was oh, that I was not doing good then." Like
Yeah. The Notes app is awesome. I write down all my dreams now.
Me too.
Do you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a whole folder because my,
Oh
my
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 goodness.
dog who passed away, I'm like I don't want to forget every time she comes to visit me in my dreams, so I write down every dream I have of her, like the second I wake up.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so I really love how you talked about like, when you're a kid that like art was your escape. And like and probably when you're a kid you don't even realize that's what you're doing, You just you find this feeling that you're like, "Oh, this makes me feel good, so I'm going to do it."
Yeah.
And what's wild is as we get older, we stop making choices based off of that. We
Right.
start making choices based off of what our parents want, what's going to make us the most money, what's going to look better to other people, instead of
Mhm.
going, how does this make me feel though? Which goes back to you become happier, your kids become happier, your life is happier because you made that conscious decision, which I think is great.
Yeah, something I've learned over, I mean, it's been a gradual progression. And every once in a while, the light bulb will go off for me that I am happiest when I'm being true to myself and
Hmm.
authentic. And, that's always not the most popular choice you can make, but it's for me, it feels the best.
Right.
And, I recognize that everyone is so different and unique. And if we all try to be what, someone else is meant to be, it doesn't work,
Hmm.
Um, like being a stockbroker. Yeah, I was smart enough to do it. And yeah, I was good at it. But, that I did it by surprise. I was actually just going to be an assistant for a job, and they said, no, no, you scored so well, you have to be a broker. We're not allowed to hire you as an assistant. And I didn't even really want to be a broker. I just needed health insurance for my kids
Right.
and a paycheck.
Right.
And, I did enjoy it. I can't say I didn't enjoy it, but the stress and the things I saw come out in people, the greed, the business regimens that I didn't necessarily agree with didn't feel good to me. It didn't bring me joy. And
Right.
that was something that I was used to. And when I got away from that and had that powerful career going, and it looked like I was going to be super successful, after 3 years, that's all I did it for is 3 years. Because I was like, you know what? I've seen enough to know I don't feel good.
Right.
And I feel good now doing what I'm doing. And, I probably would have made way more money doing the other stuff, but it's okay, you know.
Hmm. Now, so what was that thought process like, and how soon after were you like, okay, I'm actually gonna become a producer and this is what I'm gonna do instead? Like, what was that deciding moment? And was it like success right off the bat? Or were you like, did you have a moment where you're like, oh my God, I made the biggest mistake? Because I recently left a job that I had been at for like 5, 6 years because same situation. I was just like, I'm not fulfilled. I'm not happy. And granted, I could be making this, but it's not where I want to be. And it was such a hard decision because it's all you know. And there was a moment of panic of like, did I do the right thing? And so I'm wondering if you had that also.
I did many times actually. After I was a broker, I opened a chain of furniture stores. So I just started with one in my garage, and then it went to a national website, and then I got too many semi trucks coming into my neighborhood and had location. So then I had two additional locations plus a 17,000 square foot warehouse. Started working all over the country. And part of what I loved doing was making the commercials. And I made so many commercials for the business that I realized that, wow, these people that are, I hate to talk bad about people, but the people that were in charge of making the commercials that I would pay to make the commercials were not very creative. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I could do this so much better." And that really got my brain working like I should be doing this. I should be in charge of my own commercials. So when I got to be more in charge of my own commercials, I realized I loved it so much, and I wanted to get back into creating that world. And I realized I love set design. I loved setting up the stories that were in the commercials. And I got a very bad situation with pneumonia. It was
Mm,
threatening. I ended up in the hospital for about a week and was sick for about 4 months, probably after that. And
mm,
my husband at the time convinced me, just don't do this. You're driving yourself crazy. You're too busy. You're one person. You've got 22 people working for you. You're doing all the work.
yeah.
It wasn't true, but that was his take on it. Because I was always tired and working but I loved the creativity of designing the interior design, creating worlds, creating new spaces for people in their homes. And I loved my clients so much. But then, during that time I had pneumonia, I thought, boy, if this is like, I think God is doing this to me for some reason to give me just a shift in perspective.
Hmm.
And I realized that I had so many dreams since I was a child that I've written down. And during that time I had pneumonia, I had so many dreams that were so vivid. I don't know if it was the fever or what, but like movies were just coming into my brain. And it just developed over that 4 months of me being sick and unable to really go and work because I was
Hmm.
exhausted. I preferred sleeping over being awake because I was just so tired from the night.
Yeah.
And I would dream all these ideas. And I started writing them down. And I had this book of all my dreams every single night. And it just prompted me, you know what? I got to write these into stories. These are great stories. I would share them with my family over breakfast. And they're like, "Oh, what movie is that?" And I'm like, "Well, it was my dream." And they're like, "What?" Like I don't have dreams
Yeah.
like and I realized at that point that all these years I've been having these dreams and never really wrote them down. I just figured everybody dreamed like that in movies.
Yeah, let me tell you, I dream every single night, and they're the weirdest dreams ever. Like they are so strange. None of them make sense. Like sometimes they really do. Sometimes they're, cinematic, and I'm like, oh, or I get visits from, people who've passed on. But other times it's like, why am I eating sushi on Splash Mountain? I don't know.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see that movie.
Well, I have movies that like I get up and I'm like, oh wow, that was such a good story. And then I go back to sleep and more comes. It like just continues. And
I love when that happens. It's the worst when you want to go back to bed. You're like, oh, but I was just with Justin Timberlake. Like, I gotta close my eyes and see how this ends.
now I
And then
know.
all of a sudden it's your grandma, and you're like, this is
Yeah.
different.
But that's what got me interested in filmmaking again, or
Mm,
being that going after the creative storytelling shift, I guess. And the easiest way, well, I decided I was just going to start out being an extra. So I went to Chicago and I was on all these different extra sets. I mean, my family was seeing me, my friends, they're like, "Oh my God, I saw you on Chicago Fire." I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I was a nurse there." And, I saw you on Grey's Anatomy. And I went to LA and I was 5 days on Grey's Anatomy. And so
yeah.
it was kind of fun, but I really loved learning everything that was happening on set all over again because when I did it back in my teen years and early 20s, things changed,
Hmm.
back to it when I was like 40, late 40s. And so much with everything changes. But the thing that was the same is the energy of collaboration.
Yeah.
I thrive on. I love
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
seeing how teams work together or how they don't work together.
Right.
And that was, being an extra. I mean, gosh, I'd love to count out how many sets I was on. I joined this extra service and like I was working 3 to 4 days a week as an extra.
Yeah, me and all my friends, I feel like that's what we did when we first moved out here. That was our jobs. And if I wasn't the sleepiest girl in the world, I probably would have had a lot more fun.
I know. It's long hours.
It's so long. I think there was one time there was a shoot it was like at somebody's house for this MTV show called Awkward, and it was like a house party scene. And I went in the laundry room and I fell asleep. It was like cold and raining, and I was like, they're literally not going to notice. And I just went into this random person's laundry room and slept for like 3 hours. It was great.
Oh my gosh. There should be a show about, I think there was actually a
About
show.
extras
Yeah.
and like the lives of them. Honestly, that's
So
amazing.
many things, so many crazy things happened, and you meet all types, as you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like some people I'm still friends with till this day. We met and like they're thriving and doing amazing. They've come on the podcast. And
Yeah.
then other people I'm like, they're probably still in their lawn chair holding. That's okay.
Well, I realized that that kind of got me into the producing mindset because I didn't
Hmm.
really, like I started going to LA and going to Chicago not to be a producer, but as I was just tipping my feet into the water, tiptoeing through the different scenarios, I realized, man, I could have done this like so much more efficiently. Why didn't they do this? And
Hmm.
people squabbling over here over something so stupid. And as an extra, you can't, as you know, you're really supposed to just be seen and not heard. But I
Yeah.
started to feel like, boy, if I don't say anything, I'm like doing these people a disservice. So
Yeah.
I would start speaking up, like, hey, you know what? This is going on over here. Let maybe, try this.
Right.
It was like, it was well received.
Good.
And I realized, okay, I think I could add value into this production atmosphere. So I started doing more producing and I started getting invited to produce from people that I worked with that would also get launched. When you work at the bottom of the totem pole, as people go up in the industry, if you have made those relationships and created those relationships, you rise up together. And
Hmm.
so that's just kind of how I got into producing. And I realized, that's really kind of my niche because I'm so good at problem solving and I'm good with business and I'm creative. And
Yeah.
that's what it takes to be a producer.
And now you are the CEO of Hollywood Expansion Corporation. So tell me how that got started.
So I went from producing to directing, and I directed my first film, Holiday Twist, which was, like, even though I had gone to directing classes and many other production classes, I took extension courses at UCLA and Margie Haber School, acting, and I did all these things to prepare myself for directing my first film. And I realized that I kept being told by the people that were surrounding me doing this project, oh, let us take care of that. That's not your zone. You got to stay in this zone.
Mm.
No, you're treading in my territory. Stay in your lane. So, and a lot of these were guys.
I was literally just, I've been trying not to be a man hater, but I was like, let me guess, men. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
come on.
Like, hey, we know better. You just do what you want to do over it.
Yeah.
Keep yourself over there. Uh,
Ugh.
so I let that really sink in when I first started directing.
Mm.
Maybe I wasn't enough because this was the first film I was directing. And I really let it get to my head. And I didn't know the system. And, after 6 days, my lead got COVID. And I was like,
Mm.
thank you, thank you, thank you for giving me this pause because I needed
Oh.
I needed
Mm-hmm.
it to regroup the entire project and to give myself back the power that I needed to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
I started out thinking, wow, this is, going to be this. And then everybody came in and said, no, 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 you got to do it this way. And everybody had these difference of opinions on how to do it. And none of them were really a perfect solution on how to do things. And I learned you can trust certain people and certain people really don't have your best interest in mind. And I
Right.
learned that very quickly. Like I had a couple of my talents come up to me and say, you're being sabotaged.
Yeah.
Different people,
Yeah.
three people. And, you know, um, when that pause came, I was like, okay, I've got to regroup. I've got to become stronger. I need to learn how to work with my people better. I need to get rid of the people that are not serving the project,
Yeah. And
causing
stepping
chaos,
into your power, you know? Yeah.
stepping in. That's right. And so I got through the rest of the film. We filmed for 28 days. And we had to piece it together around our talent availability because I had a great cast and these are busy people.
Mm-hmm.
Not just sitting around waiting to come back for Holiday Twist. They're on other jobs. They're going by the wayside. I lost three main characters that I had to rewrite the entire script around all these problems that
Oh,
happened because of the
wow.
pause. And I learned a tough way to make a film. And then everyone's like, but that's the way every film is made. Don't worry about it. That's just the way it goes. And I'm like, it shouldn't be this difficult.
Right.
difficult.
Right.
And that is where Hollywood expansion sort of evolved in my mind, was to give filmmakers like me that had a good idea an easier path forward in creating it and making it into reality.
Mm, that is, yeah, what a gift. What a gift. And now, when it comes to your company now and taking on projects to produce, how do you choose which ones you say yes or no to? What are like some non-negotiables for you?
So I really look for people who are collaborative,
Mm-hmm.
people who um, non-confrontation. I do not like confrontation in a work environment,
Mm-hmm.
any environment really. I'm a non-confrontational person. It's really hard for me to be direct because I don't ever want to cross a line where I'm being confrontational. So that's something I struggle with in life.
Yeah. Well, I could imagine, well, because like you said, there's men on these productions that try to steamroll you, and you're like, I need to stick up for myself. I need to be assertive. But when you're not wanting to have confrontation, everything feels like when you try to speak up for yourself and you're afraid of confrontation or like don't like it, everything feels like the stakes are so high. Like, oh my God, I can't do this. And like the amount of anxiety. And it's
Right.
hard. It's hard to just be like, you know what? But like you said, like if I don't speak up for myself,
Yeah,
like I am not going to be aligned and I'm not going to be happy. And I'll be the one to pay the price, not these people.
exactly. And the mud will be on my face. And I have a
Hmm.
crazy story to share with you. Um, this is
Please.
a very behind the scenes story, but now I can laugh about it. At the
Hmm.
time, I can't believe I did that. But now I just laugh it off, and I talk about it a lot with my peers that I worked with. But it was constantly trying to work within the budget of Holiday Twist. Holiday Twist was not a big budget film. Ultimately ended up making to theaters, which was mind blowing. But it was less than $2 million to make the film.
Wow.
And so I was always trying to do everything in an affordable way, and was taking on a lot of roles myself to save money. And I was on a production call with, I think, probably six or seven people. Everyone was a guy but me.
Hmm.
And it was over the video shoot that I had wanted to do for our feature song, I Got You, which we actually later won an award for.
Oh,
And
congrats.
thanks, thanks. And I had planned to film and shoot the video at night on Rodeo Drive, right near that brick cobblestone area.
Hmm.
It's decorated with all the trees, and we were going to have Jake Miller there, and Abby Lee Miller had all of her dancers coming in from all over the country to do this dance that she choreographed, which was amazing. But we didn't have the permit yet, and it was about noon that day, and we didn't have the permit yet. And that got a little bit scary. It was during the holidays, and everyone was taking off work already. I think it was like December 21st. So it was a challenging time to get things done through the city of Beverly Hills. And then at 12 o'clock, everybody else on the phone was like, we've got to cancel this. We've got to cancel this. And I said, no, no, no. It's going to work. I've been in communication. I'm going through the process. I'm getting the insurance. This is going to be fine. Our call time is 6 o'clock. Don't mess around with it. Don't do anything, and then I did end up having to push the call time back to like 8
Hmm.
literally. Throughout the day, we're panicking. Okay, maybe it won't happen. But I was like, no, 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 no. This is gonna happen. I've got it. I've got it. Just believe in me, please. And they're all arguing, like, Stephanie, you're crazy. This isn't gonna happen. I know you're out of your mind. And
Yeah.
so I think about 2 o'clock, we were having another production call about the shoot, and everyone's panicked, completely in a panic. And I'm like, guys, and no one was hearing me because they were all arguing with each other of what
Hmm.
had to be done in such a short time and blah, 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 blah. And they're all getting into this huge argument. And I'm trying to talk and to tell them the progress I've made. And literally no one is paying attention to me. And I'm the director of the film
Mm-hmm.
and the main producer. So I get up, walk off the Zoom call, and I go to the side and I was like
Just let it out. Let it rip.
screaming, and then like silently screaming,
Uh-huh.
And and then I don't know what came over me, but I took my shoe off and I was like, and I just threw it across the room and it went flying across the Zoom screen.
Oh my gosh.
And, and I could hear the guys. They're like, where'd she go? What happened? What happened? And Drew goes, oh my God, I think that was her shoe.
That's so funny.
And I could hear them talking about what happened, what her shoe, why did her shoe fly across the screen? And so
And you're like, well, you guys don't shut up, so I had to do something.
I come back, I come back, I'm completely composed.
Yeah. Like,
And
I have no idea what that was. A bird must have stolen my shoe. That's so
my
weird.
shoe, complete composure. And I said, you guys, what is this film about?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you mean? And I'm like, it's about having faith. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not feeling the faith with any of you guys right now.
Right. Right.
And I'm just going to tell you, you need to be here at this certain time, and there's no more discussion about it. All right. So I'll see you later. Out.
Right.
And I got off the call, went and did
Yeah.
what I had to do, got it done. Our call time was 8 o'clock. The most beautiful music video I've seen.
Amazing. Yeah, I think it really is just a matter of like, I'm not accepting that behavior, period. You
Yes.
know, of like this, and now especially because it's your own company and,
Yeah.
you're the CEO, to be able to go like, okay, bye. Like, it's kind
Yeah.
of like in dating. It's like, it's not three strikes, you're out, it's one. See ya.
I know. It's like
Bye.
next,
Yeah.
let's move on.
Yeah. Well, because it's also like one, it's a very demanding, time consuming job to have to make projects like this.
Right.
And why would I spend a second of it unhappy or arguing with somebody? Like, if we're not all here for the greater good of the project, then like, you have to go. This is like, no, it's not going to always be glitter and rainbows. Like, that's show business. But like, you have to all be wanting to have that collaborative effort and respecting people. It's crazy. It's crazy in this day and age when I hear people who go on sets and they're assholes. It's like, if you're an asshole in 2025 on set, like, people are dying to work right now. You know what
Oh,
I mean? Like,
I
finding
know.
a job on set is so hard. So it's like, then you know what? You just go. Like, don't waste all of our time.
Yes, yes. And I want to make sure I make something clear. I am not like a man hater at
Oh, it's
all.
okay. I am. I'll take all
I
that blame.
I had I had to really work at earning the respect
Right.
harder than I thought I should have had to. And I
Well,
do feel it's because, women are not taken as seriously in this business. And I think that's a sad mistake that has been made for many, many years. Women
yeah.
bring the emotional depth to this industry more so than men.
Absolutely. And look at all the incredible women who are actors who are now some of the biggest producers, like Reese Witherspoon or Jennifer
Yes.
Aniston or Kerry
Yeah.
Washington. Like, you have all these women who felt the same way of like, if I don't start doing this for myself, I'm probably not going to work anymore after I turn 35. And
Right.
I also know that this could be made better. This could be handled better.
Yeah.
And, I think we're just in the past, 5, 8 years have gotten to a point where women are getting way more respected, but it's still a fight because
I
that's,
feel like sometimes, it's you go against the norm.
hmm
You like be your own unique person. Like I'm kind of feminine and I've always been that way. I've been more round than most people, more soft, more,
hmm
more quiet. And I feel like those things can be mistaken as weakness.
right.
And that's been something I've had to overcome a lot in my life, even as a stockbroker. People thought I was stupid because I was, an attractive woman, and they didn't
Right.
give me the credit I deserved. So it's not just the entertainment industry, it's just outgrowing that society norm.
Right. And let me tell it, I am like, please underestimate me because there's nothing I do better than work at a spite.
I know, I love it too. I love it.
Like
And
that fuels me. I'm like, go ahead, underestimate me. Think that I can't do this and watch me do it 10 times over. Like,
I
thank
know
you.
it's
It's,
10 times better than you.
yeah, exactly. Now, was there like I know for me, for like when it comes to actors and people in the industry, like I have like a North Star where I see their career and I go, oh my gosh, like how did they get there? And I will go down the rabbit hole of all their interviews and performances. Was there somebody like that for you where you saw a female, start her own business or production company or just somebody in the industry where you were like, wow,
Yeah, you actually just brought her up, Reese Witherspoon.
yeah,
She's fantastic. I mean, she's legendary.
yeah,
So,
truly,
yeah.
truly.
And I don't know how, knowing how busy you are in these productions and, being a producer and also being an actress, like, I don't know how she fits it all in,
Right.
but she's accomplishing it. And she's like the best in my mind of a success role model.
Right. Yeah. And like, well, I had just listened to her on a podcast and she was saying she thought like once she won the Oscar, all these things were gonna open up for her. And she was like, no, I still had to fight. I still had to fight so hard. And that's when she started the book club and turning these books into movies. And she still was told like not being taken seriously. And it took her almost 10, 15 years of doing it before people started taking her seriously. And I just think it's such a disservice to not take women seriously in so many forms because we're we're superior. I'm just gonna say it.
Well, I mean, I feel like sometimes men are better at certain things and women are better at certain things.
Right, like like
Sometimes
sports and building
you,
houses.
you know what? I mean, it's like we're all good at things.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
We all
yeah.
have strengths and weaknesses.
Right,
Some things I really suck at,
right.
and I like the TV remote. I get major anxiety trying to figure out the TV remote. I can make a movie, but I can't figure out how to use the damn remote. And
That's
I,
so
I have to
funny.
give it to, my son or somebody. It's usually a guy I hand it over to because
Yeah,
for some reason it doesn't bother them. They got it. I don't know.
that's so funny. And speaking of TV remote, what are you watching on TV right now?
I just watched the show Stick with
Okay, okay.
and my daughter-in-law, and we looked forward to it every night. After
I'm
we would watch it, and it was just so funny. It was good. It was like family oriented,
right.
meaningful.
I
Yeah,
love Mark Maron so much.
yeah.
I just adore him. And so I'm only halfway through that show, but I love seeing him in movies and television and not just in the comedy space. I think he's just, I admire him a lot. And I've seen his stand up and he's just great. And yeah. So you had said, I saw on your bio on IMDb that you guys had like family movie nights. And that
Yeah.
was something that was important for you guys. And I was going to ask, like, what were some of the movies you guys would all sit around and watch? And like, because I remember, when I was younger, and this is why I love TV and movies so much, is because like my parents watched, all the sitcoms growing up from like I Love Lucy to Friends to Will and Grace. Like, and I remember being young when all these things came out and like, if they wanted to go to a movie, couldn't get a babysitter, we were going with them. So I'm sure we saw things we were not supposed to when we were like 5 or 6 years old. Like I think I saw Superstar with them and I was like 6 or 7. I'm like, that's probably not that kind of movie. But so I was wondering, like, were there any movies that you watched with your kids where you were like, they might be a little like young for this, but they'll appreciate it.
Yeah. There were a couple times, I don't remember the specific movies, but I would have to shut my son's eyes quite a bit and
Yeah.
like they'd be on both sides of me. I'd be like,
Hmm.
And then eventually it was funny because my son, he would be conditioned if he saw something he knew he wasn't supposed to see, he'd immediately like cover his eyes and he's like, just tell me when I can look again, mom.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. That's
but
so funny.
for the most part, we watched like he loved music and I loved music, so we watched American Idol,
Mm,
religion, and we watched Desperate Housewives when he was
nice.
older because I loved
Nice.
it. That was and he grew to love it. We watched 24. That was a big show that we all loved. We loved Braveheart
Yeah,
and
see, watching Braveheart with your kids, like how old
yeah,
were they? Because Braveheart's very intense.
it is. But my son, I swear, he's like a reincarnated like warrior or something.
Yeah.
He loves that type of movie. And, we would watch Braveheart, The Gladiator, Dances with Wolves, Legends of the Fall. I mean,
Uh-huh.
he really liked films that had nature and bravery, and,
Yeah.
that was a big thing. So, my daughter, on the other hand, was more like, Pitch Perfect.
Right.
We
Right, right,
got
right.
along. So,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember being super young and my parents took us to go see The Patriot. Do you remember that movie?
oh yes, yeah,
Ter
very good.
Terrified me. Terrified me. Like
Mm,
horrible movie for me to watch. But I do love that you call it like family, movie nights because I do think it's like no matter what we're all going through at the end of the day, we could find something to watch and just
yeah,
have this like almost silent communion of like we're all on the same page, we're all enjoying each other. We don't need to like argue. We can let go of the stress of the day and we can just watch this and escape for a little bit. And I love that because not a lot of people like sat down and watched movies and TV with their family growing up, which
yeah,
I was like, what? You didn't do that? Because that's all I remember doing when I was little is being able to watch. And even when I go home now, it's like even if I've already seen a show, if it's something that I've liked, when I visit my parents, I'll sit and watch all the way through it again because it's like, well, it's something we get to do together.
right,
Yeah.
right. You know, there's, I'm sorry, it's really hot here in Arizona. I don't have
Oh,
the,
I could imagine.
it's like 90 something today. Um, but, eating together
Mm,
was part of that movie night. I was adamant with my children growing up that we have family dinner time because I didn't have that. You know,
yeah.
Got it maybe 2 nights a week when my mom was, she worked 5 nights a week. She would make a beautiful dinner for us 2 nights a week, and I was, like, so thankful and so grateful that we had that time together, and I cherished it so much. So when
Hmm.
the kids were older, I would, require us to eat together, and they would get really annoyed sometimes, but, now when they look back, they're like, when we're together, they still wanna have, like, "What are we having for dinner, mom?" You
Yeah.
know, we still do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I still do. I mean, that's how it always was. We always had dinner as a family, always. And I actually had a girlfriend who stayed with my parents because she was filming something in Vegas. And she was like, I don't remember the last time I sat down with like both my parents and had dinner. And
Yeah,
like, it was like we all were there at the same time eating dinner. I'm like, and you take it for granted and you think that everybody lives like that. Like it's like Leave It to Beaver or something. But it's like
exactly.
that's how it always was. We'd have music in the background or a TV show in the background. And I'm so
Yeah,
grateful that I grew up with art in the background all the time. Before you go, I want to talk about your new movie coming out that
okay.
you executive produced.
Maserati, the brothers.
Talk about that.
So, it's a amazing masterpiece in my mind. It's the beautiful scenery in this film and the production value and the level of talent is so enormous.
How did
I'm
this project come to you? Were you looking for this project or was it presented to you?
I had a dear friend reach out to me. His name is Luca, and he was a producer on the film. and he came to all of my screenings for Holiday Twist and had become very, I guess, impressed with how I got the movie into theaters when it was just an independent production. And, it was highly unlikely with losing three cast members that it would even ever get finished.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I'd really love if you could help us with Maserati. He was a producer, and Andrea Lorbolino was a producer who is an Italian, very well-known Italian guy. And I was like, really? Like I was a little bit dumbfounded that he approached me. And he knew about my new company. I had sent him our deck, and it was, a lot of strategic financing and collateralized investing. And he's like, yeah, he said, let's get your company on board and, give it a go. I was
Nice.
like, wow, really? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm in. So, Heck has an in affiliation with Maserati the Brothers, and I've helped them with lots of different things with the movie. And like right now, I'm working on a big Spain deal for them on a pre-monetization for a pre-sale note. And so I've been helping with editing, and it's just really nice to work with this team. They're very collaborative. They're a well-oiled machine. Um, it's the way I wish my film would have gone. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I respect everyone's uh, expertise. Bobby Moresco is a fabulous director. And of course, you know, the talent. I mean, I just can't even say enough about the talent. It,
Right. It's like Jessica Alba to Al Pacino, which is so you would never think those two would be in a movie together.
I
But here
know.
they are.
Yes, and they are the the acting is so well done.
Yeah.
And I just pinch myself that I've been involved with this film. I can't
Yeah.
wait for it to come out in theaters. It's going to have a global release.
Amazing.
Yeah, it'll be in theaters probably first quarter. It got pushed back a little bit, but that's normal.
Right.
So I think probably I have a feeling it'll be up for some awards. I'm
Nice.
feeling confident about that.
Yeah. And now when it comes to like taking on projects, do you typically, is it more so like people are approaching you, or are you finding scripts? Are you meeting with people and like seeing what you would want to produce? Like, are you choosing projects also?
So I usually get sent scripts. I get messages, hey, can you help me? I have this, I have that. And then I see if it will be a fit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. And, I also have to, I have a group of people that I have as advisors, which I have them also included in making the decision of whether, we should move forward and be in affiliation with the project. Um, there's, a lot of characters, as you know, in
Right.
this world. And sometimes, I get pressured to do stuff. And maybe 10 years ago I would have felt the pressure to do it, but now it's like, no, I just, I've got to be authentic to myself, and no, I don't want to do this slasher movie.
Right.
No. It's
Yeah.
not going to make me feel good.
Yeah. 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 Oh my gosh. Well, Stephanie, before you go, I want to ask you, what is the one piece of advice that you would give somebody who either wants to start producing or, is thinking about quitting their job for something new? Or what's a piece of advice that was given to you that helped you during your times in all of this?
You know, my advice to people that want to be successful at anything really, producing, but in life in general, you know, um, never give up on yourself. allow yourself to make the mistakes and embrace them, learn from them, grow, and reflect. I've had to do that a lot. I've had to take little pauses in my life and ask myself, like, what was I thinking? You know, why did I do that? Um, and how can I do it better? And you have to constantly revisit that with yourself throughout life. And especially in this industry that is now just changing so fast. And, you know, um, you have to say, how can I do it better? How can I do it differently? How can I be more efficient?
Right.
How can I still believe in myself after I floundered or haven't been hired for 6 months? Keep the vision alive, keep the belief alive, and let the creativity flow, and the problem solving will flow if you just keep believing.
Mm,
It's
I
my
love
best.
that. I love that. It's so true. It's so true. If you do take that pause and allow things to just calm down for a second and reconnect,
Yeah,
like you
just
said,
let
it
it unfold.
it, it flows. It flows, and it's like, okay, what can I learn from this? How could I do it better? How can I keep believing in myself? I think that's really important for people to hear.
Yeah.
Well, when does Maserati come out?
First quarter. First quarter. And then we also have we're working on Grandma Goes to Hollywood, which is a film that I'm actually writing, and
Amazing.
I haven't written uh it's not quite finished, so I'm working on that. And I haven't hired my director yet, but I don't think I'll direct this one. I'm going to hire someone that because I really want to take a producing role, a bigger
Yeah.
producer.
Oh my
So
gosh. Was this inspired by a grandma that you knew of your own grandma or?
oh, no, it was just some dreams that came to me, and
Yeah.
it's about kind of reinventing yourself.
Oh, I like that.
Life. Yeah. And the children that are with her, because she takes a road trip with with her grandchildren, and
Hmm.
they learn a lot. They all learn a lot from each other. So
I love that. And it's never too late to start something new.
exactly, that's right.
I mean, of course, in today's stage, I could play the grandma.
I'm a grandma. I have 3 grandkids.
Congratulations. I'm just saying in Hollywood terms, like I'm grandma's age now.
Oh, geez, I know. You know what? When I first started responding to stuff on the casting boards, I couldn't believe some of the stuff that was written on the casting boards. It's like middle-aged 35-year-old. What?
Middle aged. Oh my God.
We need middle-aged, like 35, some
Oh,
graying hair.
yeah. Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
I know.
Crazy. Yeah, I feel like that's a weird age range that I'm in now. It's like I could play a college student, but I could also play a mom. And
Yeah.
it's like it's really hard to be placed at the moment for myself. But I'm like, let me try grandma.
Oh, no, no. I can't see the grandma. I'm not seeing
Oh my gosh. Well, Stephanie, this was great. Congratulations.
Brittany.
And it was so nice meeting you. And I hope that you enjoy Arizona. And I can't wait to see this movie in theaters.
Thank you. Thank you. I can't wait for everyone to see it and share it with the world.
Amazing. Have the best day ever. And thank you so much for your time.
Okay. All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye.